Silence this, yeah. Bring it down. Wow, we have two people, two people, two people. Hopefully we get three people, three people. Hey, Sue Bell.
Oh, yeah.
We have Sue Bell, our DQ. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our DQ, and I'm not talking about Dairy Queen. Um, Camila Gambino, Carmela Gambino, how you doing, my dear? Great to see you. We have four people. Wonderful. We have six people. Wow. Can I have seven people? Can I get seven? Come on. Let's see, said the blind man. Yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the L.O.V. is the message Legacy Hour Chat. This is a great hour because for me and to all of us, because friends are getting together and friends are able to kind of, bring a lot of memories for everybody. And I am blessed because I have the opportunity to reach out to some of these wonderful friends that throughout the years we have been in touch, and some of us have kind of rekindle and regroup, and now we are able to to engage and to exchange our histories and to keep our history intact. Today I have the honor, really I'm proud to have a good friend, and he is one of the members of early group, um, original group from the early 70s, um, that made a tremendous impact, and we'll go into that in a little while. But he's a member of the group Hokis Pokis. That's right, Hocus Pocus. All natives of Nassau County. Hocus Pocus formed from the ashes of two local bands. One band included Joe Scarola, Steve DiGirolamo, and Rob Pudgy Davies. While Joey DiGirolamo came from the other band, they began as a high concept group with two drummers. In 1973, they slimmed down to the four-piece band that recorded Nowhere. Now you'll remember that song. Inspired by the emerging disco sound, their set incorporated the best of the Philly and Motown with a smattering of their own songs. It created a perfect cocktail from the early 70s New York club scene, where scores of bands plied their tray. Hocus Pocus played them all. Barney Google in Manhattan, Rum Runner, Copperfields, Speak Easy on Long Island, and the Rusty Nail in Flushing. I'm referring to right now, I have a good friend, and please help me welcome Mr. Joey DiGirolamo. He's right now on the screen, as you can see by the magic of this technology that I I'm just learning, actually. I mean, I'm surprised I'm able to do that. So, and I know that this is crazy, but I mean, I'm loving this every second. I mean, Joey, I mean, really, there you are. I mean, because I'm watching on this
Yeah,
laptop
I'm
here.
here.
You are in that one. Then the other camera. Oh my God, forget it. This is becoming a little crazy. Joey, my brother, how you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
You look terrific. I don't care what anybody says. You look wonderful. I mean, Joey.
That's all the preservatives.
But let me tell you, Joey, we are really excited to have you with us. And obviously, Joe and Nikki are not with you because, they're safely keeping a distance from everybody. I mean,
Correct.
but
Correct.
that's the right thing to do and the safe thing to do. But obviously, they're with us. And,
Oh yeah.
so, I'm just excited because we've been friends, and I have so much to talk to you about, and I want you to tell us all exactly, what went on back in the early days, because I know we have something in common. We
Yes.
are from the 50s. So we love doo-wop, and that's our generation that became. And I always, even before I met you, I always had this incredible, how can I say, I noticed how your harmony have come to be. It's
Yes.
so incredible. When I hear you guys, I get goosebumps because the harmony is that tight. You know what I'm saying? So you
Thank you.
do. I have to tell it. I have to tell it. But anyways, Joey, we have on the with us we have a few friends. Sue Bell,
Ah,
who you know.
so
There you go. Sue Bell, Carmela Gambino is there. Ivan Alman Roman is there. I'm sure some other people, but right now I'm just going to let's see who else is there. Okay, hi, hi, hi. Okay, so Joey, take us back to the early days as you were like I just read that you were came from another band and then you guys took over. You
yeah. Well,
found it.
as you said, we built this band from the ashes of two former bands, and we wanted to create something that was different. That's Hocus Pocus. We always wanted to make something different. We wanted it to be ours, but we wanted it to be recognizable and different. And this is where the harmonies came from. The harmonies came from what we grew up with, what we learned.
Right.
The rhythms came up from groups that we admired, groups like the Davies and like James Brown and Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Tower of Power. These are the groups that influenced us in music. And the mix became part of our originality. So our originality actually is pieces of groups that we emulated or we copied.
Wow.
And that's how the group became Hocus Pocus and with this unique type of sound. And to this day, this is what we look for. We look
Right.
for being just a step outside the circle or outside the box, may it be.
Excellent. Absolutely. Who came up with the name Hocus Pocus?
This is a funny story. We would not, originally the group was called Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
I don't know why, because I think maybe we had rabies, but we call Mad Dog, and that wasn't such a hot name. We didn't think it was such a great name, So we were thinking about names. My group that I came from originally was Fantasia, so we were thinking of names like magical names or whatever, or mystical, and one of the guys came up with the name Abracadabra,
Oh wow.
and we said that's a great name.
Right.
But none of us knew how to spell it. So Joe turned around and says, "How about Hocus Pocus, Joe Scarola?"
Joe. Okay.
And I said, "That's great." Yeah, I said, "But we got to give it a little twist." So we spelled it Hokis Pokis,
Right.
which is a double kiss. We
I
had
see.
two drummers at the time, so we felt kiss, kiss.
Kiss,
It was
kiss.
Hocus Pocus.
Oh, now you know it. You see, now you know. We learned something today. We learned something today.
And
You
that's
see,
the truth.
and I actually never found that out. But I always thought about it, Hocus Pocus, and it's spelled Hocus Pocus. Play, But anyways, you play in so many places back in the day. You were
Oh,
1975 was an incredible year for all of us, right? These
yes,
jockeys,
yeah.
we were going to. The only source was we walked during the day. We were going to the record labels to pick up the product, as we called it, or
Correct.
visit downstairs records on 42nd Street and 8th Avenue.
Right.
And so, we picked up these 45s, and we always picked up two because we needed to make make them a little longer, extended. We look for the instrumental. Sometimes they had it, sometimes they didn't, but that's how we. I noticed that Nowhere was original written in 1969.
Yeah, I wrote that actually before the group Hocus Pocus was put together. And I had looked around, shopped it to a few labels and a few managers and agents, and they all said, go home. So I went home with the song, and we started using it in our regular sets, and we were getting a
Right.
nice reaction. So the way we
Right.
came about with it, we decided, let's record it, because they asked us to do commercials for a local club
Right.
that we were playing in. And so they said, we'll put some background music. The WPIX, that was the guys that did it. And they said, well, do you have any original songs? We said, yeah. So we went into the studio and recorded it.
Right.
We did it only for the commercial.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's what they used on the commercial. And the next thing we know, we said, we had records. We said, let's print some records, because people are going to ask us for them. We'll give them out. We had nothing else for the other side. So Joe Scarola and I, wrote "Can't Wait for Love."
Can't Wait for Love.
And "Can't Wait for Love" was actually the A side.
Right.
And "Nowhere" was the B side. But when the club jocks got a hold of it,
Thank
they
you.
said, flip it. And they said, this is the song.
Right.
And
Right.
they made it what it was. The club
Exactly
DJs
right. And
made
you
it.
guys came up with a label called,
Black Magic.
sir, I have one of the original records, Black Magic. So I'm proud to own that, because I know that you guys were, producing it. I mean, well, mass producing it, but you couldn't keep up with the demand. I mean,
We pressed it, but we could not. When Downstairs Records, we had dropped off some records for them, and we were getting calls back and forth day after day, and we
Right.
just couldn't do it. So we
Right.
needed somebody to handle it.
And you went to TK Records?
Actually, we went to Polydor. We went to a couple of other records.
Right.
But at that time, it was in November.
Uh-huh.
And in November, they were all gearing up for the Christmas songs.
Right.
Nobody could catch up with the demand. No, they couldn't press it, because they were already had their pressing labels all shot. They were
Wow.
all booked up. And the only guy that could press it was Henry Stone from TK Records. The
Yeah.
late, great Henry
What a
Stone.
history, that guy. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
my
Yeah.
God.
What a
this
history.
This guy was amazing. He was
Yeah.
such a gentleman and an amazing man. And
Yeah.
he just had a knack for knowing and hearing and seeing.
True
He
that.
had a third eye. He
Yeah.
could see.
Never got to meet
And-
the guy, but what his history is, his legacy is amazing. So
Oh, absolutely. And Henry said, yeah, we could press it. So what happened was, the
Shield
guy that was
Records.
handling this, Shield Records, right? That was the subsidiary.
you got
You got that too. That was the subsidiary of TK.
right.
So the guy who was managing us at the time was Joe Rivera, and he brought it to a friend of his, who hooked us up with Larry Maxwell. Now,
Okay.
Larry Maxwell, if you know the name, Larry Maxwell was with Berry Gordy at Motown. He brought Gladys to Motown.
I see.
And he also managed the Four Tops and countless other groups. He was the promotion man and the man in charge with Motown. And he was very good friends with Henry. And I think actually he was the one who was instrumental in bringing it. And Larry got a kick out of it. Larry just loved it. He loved the song.
What's not to
And-
love?
And he signed us right on the spot.
Yeah, man, this is something else, man. 500 copies all the way to Henry Stone and TK Records. That's fantastic, man. That's a great. And then you guys, obviously, the clubs were really playing this song.
Oh, that's what
And,
made it. That's what made it.
And there is one particular gentleman who was listening from a radio station in New York City.
Yeah.
And this gentleman goes down in history to be one of the most, how can I say, intelligent and creative and so on and so on. From WBLS, Frankie Crocker. And
Chief Rocker,
Chief
Frankie
Rock,
Crocker.
right. So he will go to the clubs and he will just listen to what we were doing in the clubs. And obviously he, even, 4 o'clock, that was his time. on WBLS. Everybody will run to the radios and tune into WBLS,
Absolutely.
and he will be playing the entire record. I mean, there was, he said, forget it. I mean, the programmer and all of those people, every radio station had him. So he said, no, let's play the full length.
Yep.
And he started playing the 12 inches as well, and so on. So, but he understood what we were doing in the clubs. We were selling, we were promoting, we were selling the product.
Right.
We were actually selling the product. That's when people were running the day after to the record stores, and they said, I heard this record go like this, and all of this happening for a reason. And Frankie and WBLS, and also Boston was very much on top of everything.
Right.
Boston, it was like a trifecta right there. Philadelphia,
Jersey,
Boston, New York, New Jersey.
Jersey,
you know.
WWRL,
Right.
WNJR in
Uh-huh.
New Jersey.
Right. So that was incredible. The timing was perfect, and you picked up on the sound of Philadelphia and the Motown, a combination of this. That's what your sound comes from, right? That's the
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it comes from. It comes from our roots were Motown and actually street harmonies. So, and that Motown developed from street harmonies,
right.
and it evolved into what we know as Motown. And we took what we loved of Motown, and we tried to incorporate it, maybe consciously or even subconsciously. We did it because this is what we felt. This is what we loved.
Right on. Yeah. Were you guys ever on singing in the street corner? Ever harmonizing with everybody else? I mean, in those days.
In fact, in our show, our live shows, which we're still performing, we do a bit where we do an a cappella. Because back in the day, when you sang
guys
street,
are famous for that. Yeah.
you sing street harmonies. You found a nice little corridor with a little echo, usually a storefront, or sometimes in a subway station, or someplace that had an echo that you could hear yourself back. And we would sing a cappella all the songs that we could possibly sing, as a group. And that's where we started it. That's where we started it. So we bring that to the stage in our show, where we actually put the instruments down and we sing. So people, you don't see that anymore. You don't see that.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons. I mean, obviously, I know what you guys sound like, and I love it. And one of the special moments in my life is that you guys have become the opening act for our New York City award show, and everywhere else that we go, you guys. I'm so honored to know that you guys are there for us, because I know that Danny Pucciarelli, one of our board of directors, he opens up, with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, he does.
And then you guys follow it with an a cappella of the Star Spangled Banner.
Yes.
And it is amazing. I stand on the side, and I just, you guys get me every time.
I have to be honest with you, that's probably one of the very hardest songs we've ever done.
Right. Yeah.
It's just that type of musical arrangement and that type of writing that they wrote back in those days, that it's very difficult song. That's why so many people screw it up.
But you guys take it to different levels as you sing
try.
it. I mean, I
We
know
try.
that because I work with you guys on that. But that is one, like I say, is very special to me and to all of us who, are part of this organization, that we get together and the public loves it. And, hopefully we're going to continue in 2021. Looking forward to that, Joey.
Yes, absolutely.
And, that's beautiful, man. I'm telling you. So Nowhere was somewhere. It was
going somewhere.
Yeah, you guys are way ahead. That you have done everything. And I'm reading here. It says Nowhere is the missing link between the Sykes excursions of the late 60s and the outer reaches of Patrick Adams' mind. I want to talk a
Patrick.
little bit about that. Why is, I mean, I know Patrick Adams, I mean, is part of our
Great,
family as well, legend
great
of vinyl.
producer. Right.
But the man is amazing. That man is such an incredible, talented man. And yes, I agree. But why, how do you, what does Patrick Adams have to do with Hocus Pocus?
Well, actually, we met Patrick through another gentleman who, Lamar Thomas, who recently passed, is a writer, and a recording artist, and his wife, and they had a label, Tom Tay Records, and they did some writing, and they asked us to cover a song because they wanted to release it in Europe, and it was called Party Lights, and Patrick
Okay.
Adams was the executive producer on that song, and that's where we met Patrick, and we just were blown away by it because he just knew what he wanted coming out of that studio.
Right, right. Magnificent work. I had the pleasure of meeting Patrick and obviously all of his talented work that he's done. Everybody loves him a lot. Then you have mentioned, I mean, the fact that in abroad, you went, this was well received
Ah, yeah.
in England as well, as everywhere else. It was. Do you guys had to go to London or to anywhere else in
Actually,
those days?
we wanted to go, and it just I don't know what it was, just never presented itself at the time.
Even though it
Uh,
was such a success, and that you could have.
I still get calls, and I have friends on Facebook who love the song from Italy, from
Yeah,
Germany, and,
yeah.
and they're still playing it, and um, it's amazing that people are still playing that in Europe.
Well,
They're still
like last year I had the opportunity to travel to Italy, to London and many areas, and in Europe in general. I mean, vinyl still king in
yes.
Europe. They're still playing the disco as it's supposed to be played. Okay, and to me that's amazing. Here in the United States, the country that actually created all of this, phenomenon, we kind of dropped the dropped the ball, and unfortunately, and we're trying to continue. There's a lot of these jockeys out there that know what I'm talking about, so they're persistent and consistent and vinyl lovers, that they will continue to play, and this is what I do also. But in my situation, I have to go into all learn what the controller is, what the software is, and so on. But in Europe, it is amazing. So I can understand. I mean, it's possible that you guys can get a gig over in Europe. Uh,
Oh, we'd
you know?
love to go. In fact, we had an offer, but it didn't materialize about a year and a half ago to go to Germany for private party,
Yeah.
and it's still we're still now with the virus and everything, uh, but we're still going to try to do it. A private party
Yeah.
uh, in Germany at a private house,
Exactly.
and that was we were looking forward to that.
Well,
But
we,
getting
we
back,
have to do something about it because we have friends in Europe. One of our
let's
board of
go,
directors is Lenny
let's go.
Zakatak Gonzalez. You know Lenny.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Lenny is out there. Christine Wiltshire is out there. The people from Disco Diva who still promoting disco heavily in Gavicemari in Italy.
Hmm.
And they bring a lot of the artists to Italy, and so I think that it could. I'm just suggesting. I mean, I hope they're listening to us.
Yeah, I hope so.
You
That'd be
know,
great.
yeah, absolutely, that would be awesome because I know that tomorrow I'll be talking to George McRae, like we're talking
Ah,
Georgie. I love him.
he's a record. He's a record family buddy.
this man is still so incredibly on time. I mean, this man has an incredible, powerful voice still, and performs everywhere around the world. So I'm very happy because we got to spend a lot of quality time together in Europe, and we're reminiscing a little bit about this, that, and the other. And they're working together with Lenny. They're doing a fundraiser in, I forget exactly where, but in Italy. But I will remind them, and I will tell them, there's time. There's a lot of artists that they should be able to come to, or to go to Europe.
I think so. I think there's a lot
Absolutely.
I think there's definitely a market for it.
Absolutely. Before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of people. Anthony Cintorino, Richie Condina, one of the first. He is the first disc jockey in Brooklyn. Richie Condina, a pioneer DJ. Anthony Cintorino as well. There's quite a few people we have right now. But you're listening to the L.O.V. is the Message Legacy Hour chat with the one and only Joey DiGirolamo from Hokis Pokis. And Joey was, the founding member of the Hokis Pokis in 1970. He's the lead singer, MC, frontman, drum and percussionist. Born in South Ozone Park, New York.
Yes.
Raised in Florham Park, New York, is a Gemini. He began playing the drums at the age of 5, influenced by Buddy Rich,
Yeah.
Jim Krupa. Check this out. Singers David Clayton Thomas, Tom Jones, and James Brown. How can you go wrong, Joey? That's amazing. I love that mix. And Joe Scarola, obviously another original founding member of Hokis Pokis from 1970, plays the bass, background vocals, composer and music arrangements. Born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in Belrose, New York, Sagittarius, began playing the guitar and bass at the age of 13, influenced by Motown, Chicago, Tower of Power, Tavares, and Stevie Wonder. And the third member now is Nicky Spano. He joined Hokis Pokis in 1979. Lead singer, keyboard composer, music and vocal arrangements. Born in New York, raised in Franklin Square, New York. He's a Libra. Began singing and playing, singing and playing the piano at the age of 7, influenced by Stevie Wonder, Billy Joel, Elton John, Motown, and this took me for a loop, Manhattan's Transfer, which is fantastic. I mean, I love the Manhattan Transfer because the harmony is what it's all about, and that's how distinctive Hokis Pokis is. I love that about you guys, keeping the harmony together. And you guys rehearse this all constantly, right?
Well, we have been for the last 50 years rehearsing at least twice a week.
Twice a week, still to this day. That's
Well,
fantastic.
to this day now, what we're doing is we're doing like a remote with things. Now we just recently now work in a studio with headgear and separated where we can, but we haven't stopped. We don't plan on it.
Right. No, you can. Well, you can't stop. I mean, that's just like a DJ saying, I quit or I retire. You can't do that. You can't do that. The passion is too much. It's heavy.
Yes.
It's in the soul. So, despite the successes, the band maintained their double lives as working guys. It ranged from selling surgical supplies to running an alarm business. The band was supposed to be a part-time, but with rehearsals twice a week, writing and creating jingles, then playing from Wednesdays through Sunday. It was about 40 hours a week. This commitment to the cause was so in other words, you guys thought that we can play in the clubs, but then we can work during the day.
Yeah, we were doing about 80 hours a week.
That's a lot, pal. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
that's a lot of hours. You
Consistently.
can't do that. So you have to choose either that. One of the most interesting things as I'm reading this bio. Oh my God! This is guys. Are you ready for this? So it says my wife was pregnant, and her water broke at the
That,
club one Friday night.
yeah, that was Joe Scarola's
Oh,
wife.
that's Joe. So I told my sister-in-law, "You better take her to the hospital." I can't right now because we have to go on. The show must go on. And it did until the late 1970s. That's what a true artist, you know, you know, it happens. It's true. You have to choose the stage of the wife giving birth, you know. But that's a commitment that you guys have continued to do. And I mean, I hope I'm not stepping over my boundaries by making fun of that. But I mean,
No,
it happened.
we still laugh about it. We still
Yeah,
laugh
but
about it.
it's in your bio. I mean, it's for everybody to see.
Yes.
So until 1979, I remember being the fact that disco was taking a beating. I mean,
Oh,
and I blame this openly to the producers and record label producers. They were so hungry for money because they were making gazillions amounts of money, insane amounts of money, and they just didn't care. Everybody was dancing to everything, everything. They threw everything out there, including the Love Boat, and everybody was doing the hustle to Love Boat, to I Love Lucy, and
I love
oh,
Lucy,
I mean,
right?
come on, give me a break. I mean, they really saturated the airs with a lot of crap, and so disco definitely took a lot of heat, and 1979 was starting to bring in the punk new wave into the picture, and disco had to die some sort of, but it didn't. It continued, and to thank God for that because it kind of became high energy as the gay people came to save the day. That's how I see it. And to this day is still strong as ever. And so tell us a little bit about when that happened. You guys stopped touring, and what else happened?
Well, yeah, the brakes came on, and the but lack of better terminology, the music shut down. Uh, they were not looking for disco groups. They were not looking for the disco shows. The genre had changed. The look of the people had changed.
Yeah.
Whereas in the 70, 75, 76, 77, 78, even parts of the early parts of 79, you go out, the women were dressed to the nines. They looked like $1,000,000. Always their hair done, beautiful dresses. They look so great. The guys were all dressed up, clean look. It was just a beautiful way to meet people, and everything started deteriorating, which killed our live performances, our show performances, our touring. Everything that was it. It was done.
Right.
So we went in, and again, we never stopped rehearsing. So we started switching around, and we did commercials for a little while. We did some jingles and things like that. But it wasn't enough. We wanted to play, and the only thing that was available at the time was the wedding industry. And
That's
the
what I
wedding
say.
industry,
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys
And the
went
wedding
into the
industry,
wedding market.
and the end, and that time, the wedding industry was just these old musicians that were playing from a fake book.
Right.
And so we went in and we took our show and the way we performed and did showcases in that genre, and they didn't know how to react.
Right.
And that's what kept us alive for the next few years. We had our own agency. We had 5 other bands that worked for us. And that was good until that started to wane. But again, we never stopped, and we don't plan on stopping now. And I think what Legends of Vinyl did, what you guys did 3, 4, 5 years ago, was a breath of fresh air for everybody. I mean, I've seen people that I haven't seen in years. I've heard from people I haven't heard from in years that say, whatever happened? Why can't they have places like this? And now, when we do this stuff, even people that are 30 years old, 25 years old, are up on the floor dancing to what we did, what you guys did. When I say you guys, I mean the DJs, the club DJs did years ago, because good music is good music, great music is great music, and it'll always touch somebody's heart. And that's what's happening.
Unbelievable. That's so true, Joey. By the way, Al Magliano says hi. He just,
Hey, Al.
Al Magliano. And, you know, it's so true what you say, because I always, you know, I come in here in the morning. This is my little sanctuary. And this is what I think. This is where ideas come up. But, you know, I wake up in the morning with a purpose. And I wanted to create something for, not just for me. I wanted to create for my friends, for my peers. Right. And a lot of people don't get it. I mean, a lot of, you know, they're all a little stunats, you know, but because they just think that it's all me, 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 me. And this is not a me, me, me. This is us. This is all. Right. Legends of Vinyl is for all. And they haven't, some of them having a little hard time understanding that. And I come in here and I looked and it says, you know, this I collect a lot of. This is just a small portion of my collection at one time.
Oh my God!
But what happens is that I look. I mean, on this record that is actually your record, that still is available if you guys looking for this. This is Hokis Pokis album right now. And I look in the back of the album, on every album that I have there, and I've said this so many, many times. There is no expiration date in any of these records. That means that I can, whenever I close my eyes and I pull a record, it should be played. Mm-hmm. We have the opportunity to bring to the audience a tremendous amount of, because we know, we have the knowledge, we've been there. There's not only one genre. Yeah, disco is wonderful, but all different genres should be paid attention to, in my view. I am Absolutely. Just an old-fashioned kind of a guy, but I believe that if we have the record you're playing reminds you of something, the record to follow should answer that record maybe, or maybe that sequence will be nice. If it's jazz, it's jazz. If it's got a Latin rhythm, it's good. As long as it's acceptable, it's play. You know, we should play it. Anyways, I get too passionate about when it comes down to that, but you know me by now, Joey.
I know you very well.
You know, but it is what is important for all of us to remember. You guys are continuing for 44, 45 years and then some, and I don't think that you guys are ready to quit either. No. And this business, and you guys have become a family. I mean, the three of you, Joe and Nikki, yourself, Joey, are family.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No question. Yeah. No question. We spend more time together with each other than we've ever spent with our wives.
Really? It's true. It's true.
I'm telling you, you know, you figure we're doing 80 hours a week. We were doing, and we were always together. We're always rehearsing or playing or talking on the phone or getting together with the wives, you know, and right. Have some drinks or barbecue or whatever, or going somewhere. It goes beyond music business. It goes beyond friendship, if that's possible.
Right. Yeah. Well, I totally agree to that, and please don't ever stop. I mean, Hokis Pokis special thanks and credits. The real magic that lies behind the music of Hokis Pokis is all our friends and families and fans that have always believed and encouraged us to follow our hearts and dreams with our music. That's part of your bio. Mm-hmm. Without their support, the road we travel will have been an easy one to exit. A very special thank you goes to Mama Jeannie DiGirolamo, your mom, your mommy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, my mom.
So she was a wonderful lady who loved what you guys did and encouraged you guys to rehearse,
Always,
right? So
always.
you remember her fun.
We rehearsed at our house up until, I'm going to say, 3 months ago. And my mom passed away in October. And we would rehearse downstairs, and when we wouldn't come, or if we'd be on the road or be doing, she'd say, well, I missed you guys, where you been? You know, because we'd go there twice a week. And she'd put up the coffee, and we'd sit and chat in the kitchen, and then we'd go downstairs and we'd rehearse. For her, that was life. She'd hear Hocus Pokis, she'd hear Nowhere. She says, I like the way you did that, you know, but she passed away in October. She was 100 years old.
Oh.
And we played at her 100th birthday party. We took her out. She was great up until she died. Her birthday was in September, and she died in October. It was she was all our moms, not just mine.
Right. That's a beautiful tribute. A little nice to remember her that way.
Yeah.
You know, for encouraging you and all of you guys. Well, you know, I'm just, you know, I wanted to open a little bit more about, give me a little information, so to speak, about the guys, Joe Scarola.
Joe is my sidekick, main man. He's my wingman. He's been standing next to me on stage for the last 50 years.
Right.
We grew up together. Actually, I went to school with his older brother.
Right.
And Joe is always there for you. He's the kind of guy where we gave him a nickname years ago, and we called him Shrug. And
why is that?
Why do we call him Shrug? Well, no matter what happened, no matter how bad it was, no matter, you know, whatever the situation was, he'd go, what are you going to do? He'd give you this shrug.
Right.
And you know, and that was his name, and it fit his personality. Wonderful guy, a loving guy.
Yes.
He loves his family. He's a very emotional guy. He'll start crying. We were doing weddings. You know, it was times that we were doing the bride dances with her father, and one particular time, the bride's father was in a wheelchair, so she couldn't dance. So I said, come up and sit next to him on the stage, next to us, and we're just going to sing a song for your daddy's little girl, or whatever it was. I don't remember. Times of Your Life, I think it was.
Right.
And I look over, Joe's crying.
Yeah.
He's crying on stage. The whole
not
place
too
is
wrong with
crying.
that.
Yeah. And this is the type of guy he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just that sensitive.
Right.
And I love him. He's a great friend, and he's a great musician, and he's a great person to be around. And Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick is a little more involved. He's got a heart of gold. Nicky's got a heart of gold. He's got more talent in probably one finger than most people I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I say talent, it's a natural talent. A little obsessive sometimes, but this is the way he is. He'll make arrangements, harmony arrangements, and we'll go through arrangements, and we'll sit through them, and he'll go, oh, no, that note was wrong. And he'll pick it apart to the point where we're ready to kill him. But for instance, the national anthem, he had a certain arrangement he wanted it to sound like. And he took his arrangements and his ideas from an orchestra and said, well, this piece is singing this part and this piece is doing this. And and he put together an arrangement that we could actually sing. And it took us months, months. I mean, at 4 hours at a clip, months to do this.
Yeah.
And then until he was satisfied with it. He's that way with music. He's that way with everything he hears. He's that dedicated.
Yeah.
So we made him the person who is in charge of all the music. Of course, we get our say once in a while.
Yeah.
But not too often.
But he's proven right. He's been proven right and continuous success.
You can't argue with success. When he says do this, do the chord, do the F13th or whatever crazy chord it is, do it, and you'll hear how it sounds against the other chords. And he's right.
Right.
He's right, and and he's the newcomer in the group. I mean, Pudgy played the original. Pudgy Davies was the original keyboard player, the organ
Pudgy,
player.
right. Mm-hmm.
He went on to do other things when the records died around 1978, 79.
79,
and that's when Nicky came in. Nicky had actually married to my second cousin.
Okay.
So
okay,
he's related.
That's right. Yeah. No, you can't get away from this. You can get away from him. You can't get rid of him. This is fantastic. Joey, what message do you have for your fans, your friends, all of us who have been so happy and honored to meet you and to be with you?
Well, what I'd like to say to friends and people, legend people, are fans, the people that have come to see us over the years, people who just love this type of music. You got to go out and support it. You have to go and do it. Go to places that run a group like, say, Disco Unlimited or one of these groups. They see Hocus Pokis. Go to a club. Go see them. You'll have the time of your life. Even if it's a trip back in time. Wow, I heard that song. I know where I was when I heard that song. Yes. Or I haven't heard this song in years. I had people come up to me that we were playing in some of the clubs here, and they said, I was sitting there crying because I remember every one of the songs you did. And I'll see people on the dance floor singing the words to what most people or some people think is obscure. Right. You know, like maybe 10% or one of these songs where, or Friends of Robin Stone, or, these type of songs, groups, Tavares, original Tavares stuff. They know the big stuff from Tavares, but some of the original stuff. Tavares is one of our all-time favorites. I'm telling you, Anton, God bless him.
No, totally.
Great group.
Absolutely. Group. I like what you're saying because it's that important for people to continue supporting. There are a lot of promoters out there, a lot of promoters.
Yes.
And, they should kind of contact us, the disc jockeys, because if it wasn't for the DJs playing this in here, they keep on bringing in the same act over and over and over and forgetting about the rest of the artists that, like Hocus Pocus. I mean, they don't understand that song, Nowhere, they will remember it in a heartbeat. Yeah. We've made it possible for the audience to remember that song. Not only the big ones, all the artists, and they all deserved, yes. But
yes,
you know what I'm saying. I mean, there is enough artists out there still like you guys, willing and able to perform, and they will be surprised, pleasantly surprised, to know the reaction of the people, of the audience, when they come up and sing it, especially with the harmony of Hocus Pocus. I can't wait to go back on the road to produce, because as DJ, as producer, I can see things that they don't see. And
Yes.
I wanted to go back and and I have a few ideas for 2021. And believe me when I tell you, they're shaping up really well. And so just hang on tight there, Joey, because
Come on.
we're all on the same boat right now. We just
Yep.
have to bite the bullet right now until for a few
But
a few more months,
but what you
until
say is true. What you say is true. Uh, there are artists out there, and the nice part about the artists that are in the disco era or this particular era that
right,
we're discussing, your DJ, the club DJ era, uh, is most of these guys are still alive,
right on, right,
and they can sing and they can move. I mean, some of the guys from you go to an oldie show now, and you're lucky if you get one guy that's still alive from the group.
yeah. There's like even the Temptations are still performing. I say what? They're cover bands, man. I mean,
Yeah.
there are a lot of artists right now that they deserve, they should be performing because that's what they depend on to survive performing. They don't get any royalties anymore from any labels.
It was hard to get them when you could.
Exactly right. So I think that, I mean, I have a list. You should see the list of artists that I've been in touch with, and I'm on the phone with them, and everybody, they're anxious and they wanted to perform, and promoters, I blame the promoters. If I have this somebody with a little intelligence next to me, I will make them a lot of money, but soon enough, soon enough. But this is, ladies and gentlemen, it is really my pleasure to talk to Joey, and I'm sure you
My
guys
pleasure.
got a little bit of information about this conversation. And Joey, I can't say enough. I can thank you, Joe and Nikki, for
Thank you.
being there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. And I wish you and the guys nothing but the best, and the family to please stay safe, be
Thank you.
safe. And with that say, right now, before I sign out, I just going to let me see if I can do this thing. Once again, I'm trying to work this out.
Technology.
Joey, this is crazy, man. I'm telling you, but I'm loving it. But I want to remind everybody that Saturday and Sundays now the L.O.V is the message. Legacy Hour chat is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I have the honor, really, it's also to bring another friend, George McCrae from Aruba.
Oh,
He's in Aruba right now, and so he will be just like Joey is with me here through this technology thing that I just learned today. Last week I had I think it was Carol Williams with Devern Williams.
yes.
Let me tell you, it would have been great if I would not, if I could have done this, to have them on the video so people can actually see this. I'm learning, believe me when I tell you. I'm eager to. Soho Johnny Pasquale is right now also listening to us. Soho Johnny from New York City, Joey.
So,
Yeah. So he's a good guy. Hopefully he'll be able to maybe listen to me a little bit. Maybe we can do. No, he is a terrific guy. So, anyways, and I wanted to invite everybody tomorrow at 3 p.m. Same channel, same time. And Joey,
yeah.
remember everybody, L.O.V is the message. But I want to leave you guys with something from 2016 was a very special year for us. We came to New York, and I had a plan to do the award show in Midtown Manhattan. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that went south. That went bad. I changed my mind, and I was in a little bit of a problem there. I didn't have a place to do the awards, and well, here I am going crazy. I didn't know who to call, but it came to my mind Jellybean Benitez, a good man, guy. My goodness, I can't say enough about JB. I call him up and I say, JB, I'm in trouble. He says, what's the matter? He says, well, I need to do the show in Manhattan. Where to go? Oh, he says, don't worry about it. He says, let me call this number. And I called this number. I called and I got the location in downtown Manhattan. 2016, we did this place. I forget the remix. It's called Remix. The place was called Remix. They shut it down. After we did our show, they shut it down for other reasons that I don't want to go into. But you made the news actually. But JB came forward and he says, "Don't worry about it. He's always there." I can't say enough about JB. But you guys performed there. Obviously, that was the year that we inducted so many people like Barbara Roy, Rochelle Fleming, Corey Day, DC LaRue. I mean, there's so many. Hokis Pokis, Carol Williams, Carol Douglas. I mean, that was insane. That was one of the best years. Obviously, every year is wonderful. But, that year, and I want to show a video of Hokis Pokis performing at that particular venue. And you can see Joe on your right. Yeah, Nick is on your left, right?
Nikki was on my left.
You can see Joe on this video, and he's looking up. The ceiling was dripping on the stage, on top of the stage. I mean, the place was falling apart, but nobody could care less about that. Everybody was enjoying their company. I had Vince Aletti, Patrick Adams. Everybody was there. Remember that year? I mean, Jim Burgess was not Jim Burgess. Jim Burgess. I mean, come on, I forgot. I mean, Steve Thompson was there. So many people from the industry because it became one of the biggest things every year. So we celebrate. So let me put that video on for everybody, and I want to say thank you to all, and thank you, Joey. Thank you so much, and bless you.
God bless.
From me to you, Joey. God bless you, and I'll speak to you in a few, okay, brother? So
okay,
here
brother.
you go. Let's do it.
Something I never brought my way.